Hi there, Mike Gearing back here again with you. And in this video, we're going to be talking about motivation. As I said in the introduction, I'm going to talk fast. I want to squeeze as much value in here as I possibly can. If you try to take notes, you'll probably miss something. So don't worry about taking notes. These are completely free. You can come back here anytime you want. They'll be on YouTube. They'll be on this web page. So you can come back again and check them out. The first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the three kinds of fun. Everybody wants to be good at something. Everybody wants to have nice things and to do nice things. But there's a principle that a lot of people have heard of called the be, do, have principle. In order to have the things that you want, you have to be the kind of person that can get those things. And in order to be the kind of, in order to have the things that you want, you need to do the kind of things that it takes to get those things. And in order to do those things, you have to be the kind of person that can do those things. A baker bakes because he's a baker. But if a baker digs ditches, that doesn't make him a ditch digger. It just makes him a baker who's digging ditches. And he's probably not going to be very good at digging ditches, and he's probably going to get fed up with digging ditches pretty fast because digging ditches sucks. I know I used to be a professional meta-conglomerate composite relocator and got paid decently to move dirt from one place to another. But I had that ability at the time because I was young. I was a strapping young man back when I was not sitting behind a desk all day. And I could dig 290 feet of trench in a day, 290 feet, 8 inches wide and 18 inches deep in just about 8 hours, so in crappy soil. So I've had a lot of experience in moving dirt. But there are three kinds of fun, and they tie intrinsically into the be, do, have principle. There's the kind of fun that you have from having things. If you have a ski-doo or a jet ski or a motorboat or a four-wheeler, a quad in some parts of the country, then you know that it can be pretty fun to have those things and to take advantage of those things and use them to have fun. There's another kind of fun that comes from doing things, taking vacations or playing football or fishing. Some people like fishing. I like fishing as long as I'm catching fish, but I don't like sitting there and casting things out and waiting. So there's the kind of fun that comes from doing things. There's also the kind of fun that comes from being, and a lot of people don't have a lot of experience in the kind of fun that comes from being. I was talking to a business partner of mine a year or two ago on the phone, and I said, do you want to be the kind of guy that owns a business and has $100,000 sitting in the bank, and he doesn't have to spend it on anything? It's just sitting there making interest, and he just has it. He just has $100,000 in the bank. And he said, yeah. I said, then you're going to have to learn how to keep the money in the bank, because otherwise you're never going to get $100,000 in the bank. And that's the way life works. There's a fun that comes from being, and that fun, unlike the fun from having, you can have fun from having things as long as you have those things. But anybody who's had anything for any length of time knows that that fun only lasts as long as you have it, and the things that you have change over the course of your lifetime. So and it's inherently empty, is what I'm saying. The fun that comes from having and the fun that comes from doing doesn't last. It lasts as long as you have or as long as you're doing, but as soon as the vacation's over, or as soon as the football game's over, or as soon as the fishing trip's over, you're back to not having fun anymore. But there's a fun that comes from being as well. And that being fun, that lasts. That lasts no matter what's going on. It lasts through thick and thin. It lasts it lasts because it's intrinsic in who you are. I have a lot of fun in talking to people because I get asked a lot, are you serious? Are you serious? And I look at them and I'm like, do I lie? And the reason I can say that, the reason I say, do I lie, is because everybody that knows me knows that I don't lie. I don't lie. I won't lie in a video game. I won't lie in a role-playing game that my kids play with me. I won't lie. If my wife asks me, how do I look in this outfit, I will tell her the truth. And so that honesty, that inherent honesty, that affords me a good amount of fun from being honest. Hardworking is another one. People respect hardworking people. And there's a fun that comes from being hardworking, being respected, that you can't get any other way. You can't get it by having the stuff that hard work brings, and you can't get it from doing hard work. You have to get it over time from the character trait of being hardworking. I have notes on my board there, but they're covered up by something that's in front of them. Loyalty is another one. You can have a lot of fun being loyal. If you're in any kind of relationship with a member of the opposite sex, particularly as a guy, you understand that there's a lot of competition out there. And women, because women are territorial, men are possessive, women are territorial. So men, if you mess with a man's woman, he'll hit you. That's what we do. You messed with my woman. Women are territorial. It's totally it's a similar concept, but separate in the fact that if you get anywhere near a woman's man and you might be trying to catch his eye or what have you, they get territorial about it, and they'll run you off out of their territory, away from their man. It's not just whether you particularly messed with their man; it's if you're in the vicinity of their man that they get excited about it. So there's an inherent fun that comes from being loyal when you can mess with your spouse or significant other, and they know and understand that you're a loyal kind of person. Then you can have the kind of fun that you can't have without being loyal. And I'm going to move so I can see this. Oh, yeah. Financially independent. There's a fun that comes from not having the things and not being able to do the things, but being financially independent. Having $50,000 in the bank that you don't have to mess with. It's just sitting there. It affords you a certain amount of peace and what's the word? Mental health that comes from just having those capital reserves just sitting there, or knowing that you have an investment opportunity that is making you money. When I first got into internet marketing, I sold salon exclusive beauty products online, and made a good bit of money on it. But one of the things I did just for fun was every time I got an order email, I had heard this off of a tape or something at the time. I recorded a little soundbite that was just me in a funny voice, my announcer voice, saying, "You've got cash." And every time I got an order email, it would come into my inbox. I left my inbox open, and every time I got one from the website, it would say, "You've got cash." And that was fun. I could just sit there at my desk, and it would just keep ringing over and over, "You've got cash." And so there was a fun that came from that came from being an owner of a website that was making money. And if you've never experienced this before, and I forgot to time this one. If you never experienced this before, there's a difference between owning a home and buying a house, or having a place to live. That ownership, that being the owner, it's actually one of the things that a lot of business owners get caught up in a business, is being the owner, because it's fun. And they get caught up in it. They get ego involved in it, and somebody asks them, "Are you the owner? I'd like to speak with the owner, please." And and they go, "Yes, I'm the owner, yes." And so there's a fun that comes from that. And when you understand that there is a fun that comes from being, okay, that can't be changed by whether you have or have not, or doing not, that intrinsic fun that sits with you, that lasts with you all the time. It's a good reason to smile. When you wake up in the morning, you can say to yourself, "Hey, it's a good morning, and I'm a good guy." And there's a fun that comes from that you can't get any other way. And when you understand that, it gives you the tenacity, it gives you the stick-to-itiveness, it gives you the motivation, it gives you the hunger to pursue those things that you wouldn't pursue otherwise, because you didn't know that there was fun that came from being. Okay, and you know, there's it's like a bride that you know, you spend a year planning the wedding and she's got all this attention and everybody's talking about it. It's the event of the year, um, and there's a whole lot of stuff that comes from that, and it's fun, it's exciting, it's new, it's fresh. But anybody that's been married for a while, chances are they've lost some of that initial excitement. They've lost some of that initial motivation to be married, you know, because they've been married for so long. Well, after 40 years of marriage, it's different. Well, it's different because you didn't remember that there was fun that came from being married that you didn't have before you were married. There were things that were involved in not being married that weren't fun. And when you understand that there are three different kinds of fun, it gives you a proper perspective and a proper motivation and a proper desire to pursue those things that only come from being and don't come from doing and having. So I wanted to talk to you about that as the first thing. It's one of the most important things that I think that people don't realize, people don't understand, and because of that, they don't pursue. We live in a very lazy country. We live in a very lackadaisical society. Everybody wants to be on food stamps or on welfare or getting a free meal from somebody, and they don't understand that anybody who gets something for nothing means somebody got nothing for something. And that's not right. That's not equitable. That's not fair. All the people that want something for nothing generally say it's not fair. All the haves have and all the have-nots don't have. But they don't have probably because they didn't know that if they had, there's fun that comes from that. If they did, there's fun that comes from that. But having the proper motivation, being the kind of financially independent person that owns their own home or owns their own business or you know, has a good marriage, there's fun that comes from that too. And if they knew about that kind of fun, maybe they'd pursue it. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about, and it leads into the rest of these secrets that you'll wish your parents had told you about once you find out what they are. So check out the next video, and I hope you enjoyed it.